how it works on a GMC. Little flip cover that's supposed to be on there broke off, and it's gotten all corroded up inside there. And it looks like that might still be the factory one, so it's in definite need of replacement. Okay, so it even comes with some instructions, and I'm going to read those over and get back to taking that one off. Now the old one looks like it has a clip in the back here. You can see it through the front. I'm going to put this vice grip on there and gently remove that. Maybe not so gentle. I'll bust it up anyway. So this one here's got two clips that I popped out with my screwdriver, and I believe this just pulls out of there, just like that, in between the wires. And we need to undo these two clips over here. So I'm kind of mangling it up here, and it doesn't matter. This one isn't going back on, so there we go. Here's my wiring. So what I've been doing here is pulling these wires out with the terminal and everything attached still, and you just push your screwdriver down in between this part here. You need a tiny flat screwdriver. There we go. And wiggle it around and pull it through. And that's the blue. So far I've got the red, the green, and the blue off. And this is the paper that came with the new one, and it lists what each one of those terminals does. So what I'm doing here is I'm writing down the color of the wire that I'm taking out. So I need to write in blue right there. So I'm just going to continue popping all these out and writing them down on this paper. So I've got my new plug here, and this thing had these two little screws, one there, one on the other side, and you need to take those two out in order to get this center piece out right here. And as that comes, that's got your screws there for your wiring. So I've loosened off all these little screws. Oops, missed the center one. And they just all need to be loosened off, and then you can get your wires in between those little clips in there. So the first thing about this is you're going to have to make a note as to where this slot is right here. On this particular one, see how it has this slot goes all the way through? That's the one we need to look at. And I don't know if you can see it inside of here, but right in the very bottom there's a little bit of a ridge down in there, and that's where this slot right there slides into. So if I look at this part here, and this part is down, then I can compare it with my diagram and put my wires in accordingly. These all have terminal ends on them. I'm going to have to snip those off, make sure that there's enough wiring to reach, and make sure you've got your key turned off and nothing else on right now. And according to the instructions, it says to strip it about 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to continue snipping off all the terminal ends and stripping the wires 1/4 inch, and I'll be right back. So before you start attaching any wires, make sure that you pull the wire through this bracket, and on this particular one it has to be pulled all the way through this case, and this part goes back in from this side. Okay, the blue wire is going to go on this first clip that I had in mind here. just going to continue putting on all the wires according to my diagram, and I'll be back with you. Okay, got all my wires on, and before you push this all the way in, just check every one of your wires and make sure that they're on there tight. You don't want to have to pull this whole nightmare out again just because it shorted out or something. So take your time with it. I'm just going to make sure that all my wires are in their proper location before pushing it back in. White here, yellow, brown, red, green, blue, and the lime color in the middle. Okay, so when you're pushing this in, just make sure that this pin down here lines up again. And your wires should all be nice and neat over at this end. But first of all, there's the two little retainer screws on the side. And those two little screws, they hold this piece inside of here. So I'll put those in first, make sure everything stays in place, and then I want this to go part way inside of here if possible. I do have scissors somewhere, but this will work. Okay, now I'm going to try and push this down in here. Okay, for the most part that went in pretty nicely there. And this is what holds your wires in. You want them in there pretty secure. And I do believe that's got it. And for myself, I'm just gonna tape this up right here and just close that off a little bit on the end. And the new one has 4 bolt holes, which this one doesn't have. Time for a drill. So I've got this sitting in place where I wanted it, and just using my fat pencil, make some marks where I want the holes. These didn't come with the switch. I happen to find 4 self-tapping bolts. You can use screws or whatever you want. And I've got my first screw hole drilled out there. And I just wanted to check to make sure that the bolt was going to screw in there securely. And I think it will. So I can get it started a little bit, and I think it's going to work. Going to put a little mark on every spot where the bolt is supposed to be going. And I'm sure most of you would want to clean that up and paint it, get it looking nice, but this truck's getting up there in years and not too worried about it. Got rust all over it already. And if anybody would like to make a comment on the rust that's on this truck, keep in mind it's got almost 400,000 kilometers on it, so it's been around the block a few times. Oh, look at that, they fit right in there nice. And just make sure that if you unclip it from under here anywhere that put it back where it belongs. Oops, there's a few other things that I wanted to do yet, and this is contact cleaner. I don't know if there's any oil or anything from the factory, maybe some residue. So I'll just clean that out a little bit and let it dry. And I like to put a little bit of dielectric grease on there. So I got some on my finger there. Maybe a little more than I need, but a lot more than I need. Okay, that's all smeared around the connectors. Now we can go test it out. Not sure if you can see that, but the tail light is on this side. That little marker light is on. This is the park lights right now. That one's on. That one's on. The other side marker light is on. And of course the 3 back lights are on there as well. Alright, I'm going to try out the signals and the brakes. So, did the brake lights work? I'm not sure. Okay, everything seems to be working. Right there, 396. So there's my brake controller, and the lights come on when I put the brakes on. It's a good sign. I've got it set very low right now because my trailer's empty. We're still at 1.5. So far, nothing on the trailer. Let's try 3.5. Back it up a bit here again. Okay. Should be able to see the brakes lock up. Yep, there it is. Working. So everything's working, trailer brakes, everything, all the lights. The only thing I don't know about yet is the brake lights on the trailer because I couldn't see back there. I'll have to review the video in order to see whether they work or not. But anyway, I believe they are working. So, hope this video has helped someone out. If it has, please hit the like button and subscribe to see more. And thank you for watching.